Happy guinea pig! Here we go!
Hi, I'm Alyne. Welcome to my kitchen. And today I'm going to be doing beef stew my way. Now, y'all, I have a beef stew recipe, and this is actually a oven cooked beef stew. And I looked at the recipe. I've added a little bit to it, but I'm going to read off the basic recipe ingredients, and I'll tell you where I've made my changes. Okay, now these are the ingredients. Calls for 2 pounds of beef stew meat, 6 whole carrots, 4 large potatoes, 5 ribs of celery, 2 large onions, 2 tablespoons of tapioca, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of salt, a half of a head of garlic, 1 cup of water, and 15 ounces of tomato sauce. Now that is the recipe.
Folks, just a little side note. You're going to write a recipe, be sure to tell what you got to do with what and how much of what when you go to write that recipe. Otherwise, all you do is slap together a few words, put it out there because you're just lazy and trying to get a little bit of something.
Because these were the directions that came with this recipe. Place everything in a roaster, bake covered for 2 hours at 350 degrees. Now, I know as a cook that you have to peel and chop to have everything ready to go in the roaster. If someone doesn't know how to cook and they're reading this, I would understand for them to just throw everything in the roaster whole without peeling, without anything.
And then wonder why it tastes like crap.
Right. So, that's the ingredients. There's nothing wrong with the ingredients. It's the directions we have a problem with. But I'm going to tell you what I've done. Now, starting at the top with the stew meat, I have probably about maybe 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 pounds of stew meat. Some of my meat, I had bought some beef neck bones, and Piggy cut the beef off the bones for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put these bones in there because they're large, and I want the flavor off of them in my beef stew.
Gonna cook that flavor out of them bones.
Put the flavor into the stew. So I've got about 2 1/2 to 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 pounds of stew meat. I have here roughly 9 1/2 carrots that have been washed, peeled, and chopped. And when I say chopped, I mean I've left them in good sized chunks because they're going to be cooking for a little over 2 hours. Sorry. Right?
She forgets that phone gets angled down to have all the ingredients in it.
And I hold things up. And I have here roughly 6 large potatoes. Now, my bag of potatoes had 1 large potato in it. The rest of them are itty bitties. So we just did the whole bag because they would have made about 6 large potatoes.
That way we use them up and they don't go to waste because we don't eat that much tater no more.
Right. Now, here on the celery, I do have 5 ribs of celery. I don't like a lot of celery in my beef stew, so I'm just going to... And why I'm saying this is because I'm making a batch and a half of the beef stew. Instead of 1 batch, I'm making a batch and a half. That's why I've got the ingredients I have. But celery, I'm keeping it at 5 sticks. I do have 2 onions. They were large onions, so I'm not going to add any extra. Here I have a half of a head of garlic. There were a good 6 cloves of garlic. I figured that's plenty of garlic.
Now, that celery I know contains salt. So if you got salt in the recipe, do you adjust for that fact or what do you do?
Well, since it's a natural and not something you add to it, I don't adjust for the celery, but I am adjusting the salt simply because I don't want to put a great lot of salt in there.
Okay.
Now, the salt's basically going to be the taste on this for me. Now, this is 1 tablespoon, 1 1/2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar. Up to you. It's your beef stew, your choice. It just says vinegar on here, but I'm saying white wine or red wine vinegar. Here I have a tablespoon of sea salt. I'm not adding the extra 1/2 tablespoon because I think 1 tablespoon is going to be enough. And instead of using tapioca, I am using cornstarch. I've got 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I'm going to mix that with a little bit of water as a thickener, because that's what the tapioca is for, y'all. It's for thickening. Here I have 1 can of diced tomatoes that I'm going to be adding. And I have a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce and 2 7.5-ounce cans of tomato sauce. And if you're wondering why I have the 7.5, it's simply because I couldn't find the 15-ounce can that day. I got 2 of these. Right, so those are my different adjustments. Oh, and I have a 1.5 cups of water here. Now it says to cook in a roaster in the oven. My roaster won't fit in my oven. My small roaster, I can't find it right now. I've got it packed up somewhere.
So we don't know if it would fit in there or not.
Right. So I have a tabletop roaster.
That's why I told her, just instead of worrying about looking for that other one, just go ahead and use that, because it's a cooker all in itself.
Yeah, this is a roaster. And I've got it set to 350 degrees preheated. I'm going to take my lid off, and I'm going to set my lid right there, y'all. Probably in y'all's way. But I'm just going to start pouring this stuff in there.
So I've got it on the roaster so they can...
I'll pour my taters in there. You can hear that sizzle. Ooh-wee.
They might can, I can't. My hearing's bad.
Put my carrots in there.
Oh boy, look at all them dishes she's creating for me to wash.
And I got my onion in there. I got my celery in there. And next I'm going to add my meat in here. I'm going to put those bones in here at different spots so that they can cook down.
Get some of that deep flavor.
Right.
Y'all, the marrow of a bone is the most nutritious part of the animal for you.
Right, I'm going to put this
You
garlic
cook
in
that
here.
out and get it into your stew, you getting all those nutrients.
All right, now I'm going to pour my vinegar. I'm going to put my tomatoes in here. And I'm going to put my tomato sauce in here. And I may be adding just a little bit more water because I really don't know. Let me do this. I'm going to put that water in these cans and rinse these out.
Well, you can tell that thing ain't been used in a while.
Okay.
I smell that element.
If y'all wonder what I'm doing, I'm putting water in here. I'm rinsing my can.
That way you do 2 things at one time.
You can use this liquid and you get your pan.
You get all your sauce out of there.
That's it. You don't waste no sauce. I learned that trick from my mama and my granny.
It also cleans the cans out, so you just throw them straight away for the most part.
Okay, I'm going to put the salt in with this water right here. Take and pour that over everything. Okay, I'm going to take my spurtle.
Kickapoo Cratty Cat,
Yeah,
thank you. She is absolutely in love with these things.
that's my large spurtle. Yeah, I may have to put a little bit more water in there. Piggy, if you'll give me another one of them of water.
Another one of them was.
Yeah, I figured I probably had to take more than 1.5 cups of water for this, y'all. Because it's going to be cooking for 2 hours at 350 degrees.
That water gonna be enough to get it started till all them juices start to flow.
Right. And I'm not going to add my cornstarch until about 1.5 hours into the cooking process and let all my juices get started good and get going good.
That way it get thick and not like concrete.
Right, I can put that in there and thicken it up.
All right, I got it.
Yeah. All right.
Now, see, folks, I'll ask the dumb questions and say the dumb things so that we get that out the way, and she can answer things accordingly, so that y'all realize y'all's questions ain't stupid.
That's
Because
it. There are no stupid questions.
like I was taught at boot camp, our DIs told us the only dumb question was the one that wasn't asked.
That's it. All right. Now I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm pretty sure y'all can. Because Piggy said he got it on there.
What?
Inside here and see what's going on.
Well, I didn't say I had it inside that. I said I had it
On there.
over there so they could see that.
Okay. Y'all can see in there now.
Now they can see it there.
that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to cover it up, and I'm going to set me a timer for 2 hours. Actually, I'll probably set one for about an hour and a half. Oh, I got something on there. And I'll come back in about an hour and a half and check on that. And I'll give Piggy these cans.
Piggy, wash out them cans, throw them away, and wash these dishes.
Okay. We'll see y'all probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
Okay, y'all. It's been about an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, something like that. And I'm going to put the cornstarch in it. Again, I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I have somewhere between a quarter and a third cup of water. And I'm going to start stirring this as I pour it in.
Oh, you make a mixture before you put it in.
You make a slurry.
Oh, that's what that's called. I heard you say that before, but, you know, I'm not a cook. And not really all that interested in cooking. I'm just really interested in the results thereof.
Right. And like I said, I'm making sure this is stirred up good. And anytime you make a cornstarch slurry, or even a flour slurry, you want to make sure you're adding it to a hot dish, something that has been cooking for a little bit.
Why that?
Because otherwise it'll just lump up. It won't thicken it, it'll lump up.
Makes sense.
All right, take the lid off of this, and y'all, if I just had some television right now.
Well, look at all that steam coming up all that. Don't that look at boy? I'm telling you what, man, that smells good.
Before I do that, Piggy, will you get me the tongs, and I'll get you a plate to lay those on. I'm going to take those bones out of there.
Tong, 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 tong.
I know there's 2 more in here. I just got to find them. There's one. Isn't it nice to know exactly what you put in it so you know exactly what to take out? And those are the beef neck bones. All right, now comes the fun part. You add this slurry to that hot liquid, and you stir it in. And sometimes, depending on how much you add, it tells you to wait 5-10 minutes or cook until thickened. I have about 20 minutes cooking time left on this. And I'm going to just let this finish cooking for about 20 minutes. And that should thicken up in that 20-minute time frame. All right. And y'all, I have to tell you, it looks good, and I have a feeling it's going to taste good too. Put that back down there. I'm going to put the lid back on it. We're going to let it cook for about another 20-25 minutes, and then we'll be back, and it should be called done. So we'll see you when we get back.
Duh.
All right, y'all, it's been about 25 minutes or so.
Look at that steam,
Set that right
right?
there for just a minute. I'm going to stir this with my spurtle.
Look at that, look at that.
Oh, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down on warm.
Yeah, y'all know what it's fixing to be.
Oh, man, that smells good. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. And that has thickened up some. I'm going to... All right, now, get out of there. We're going to take our scoop here, or our ladle.
Ladle, scoop, all the same thing.
A little bit of that juice in there with that. Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'll need quite that much.
Okay. I probably don't either, but you know what? I'm going to make sure I get a little bit of meat and stuff in there. That's why I was doing that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Let me grab the paper towels and wipe that island off.
Better wipe up her mess, folks.
That's it. You clean as you go. You don't have much to take care of later.
Yeah, but get a little messy, that part is fine.
All right, we're going to let Piggy grab you a picture of that.
Alright.
Right.
Alright.
Right. There's your spoon.
It's alright.
Let me get my. I feel like I'm over here right next to that island thing. We're gonna see. Let's see.
Well, let's see.
We're gonna see if these carrots are tender. Well, you cut them with a spoon. They're not as tender as I'd like. But those taters are. Those taters are good and tender. It's good, but I'm going to be honest. It probably needs to cook about another 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, it is good to eat. And it could be that I didn't have it in the actual oven. But I'm going to put this back up on about 300. And I'm going to let it cook for about another hour on 300.
They're still pretty good.
Oh, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
Them carrots are tough, but they soften up that with a little work, I get through them without my helpers.
Mm-hmm. Has a really good flavor. Now, had I cut the carrots a little bit smaller, they might be done. But like I said,
That meat's tender enough for me to get through without my helpers.
right. It just depends on how you like your stew. If you like it to be a little toothy as far as chewy and have a bite to it, then this is perfect consistency. If you like your vegetables a little bit softer, I would say cook it for at least another 30 minutes at 350. If you like them to be a little on the mushier side, still firm but really, really soft, I would say at least another hour on 300. So what I'll do is I will check them in about 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes, to see if it's to where I want it. But that's my suggestions. It has a great flavor. I can eat it like it is. That's not a problem. But I do want mine to cook for a little bit longer. So I thank y'all for watching. Have a great day. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Where's my boy?